This is another video over Tai Chi for functional fitness. I made several videos over, we'll say there's Tai Chi walking, or you can just say footwork, right? I've done some over larger frames and over smaller frame stuff. This video here, I'm going to go over some, we'll say, footwork exercises to create instability, and so that we can kind of work on dynamic balance to try to develop more mobility and stability in our footwork, or you could say our day-to-day walking around. So to me, large frame pieces like this, let's say I'm in this position like this, and I'm using these pieces, and I'm trying to pull my body through, and I'm trying to drive with the muscles and all of that. A lot of those, you're not going to use those for walking around, right? You're going to use the benefits from them for improving your stability and mobility, right? I'm going to strengthen my legs, I'm going to improve my overall body's generalized structure, right? The stability of this whole unit. At the same time, I'm going to improve my balance and maybe improving my posture somewhat. But we want to take all of that stuff, and then we want to be able to use it. We're using it through our small frame footwork, right? So again, Tai Chi has a small, a medium, and we'll say a large frame. A lot of people that teach, they only teach a frame, or a frame from a style, or they may teach 2 or 3 frames, like or forms, maybe a really long one, a medium size of some sort, and something small. And they do that, and they think of it as intermediate, beginner, advanced type concept like that. I don't really see Tai Chi like that. It doesn't matter if it's 8 moves or 150 moves. It's still the same content, right? It's still the same postures. Brush knee twist step, single whip, part to wild horse's mane, etc. So again, we're going to take those attributes that we gain, right? The strength, the stability, the balance. We're going to put that into some of this smaller frame footwork. Now again, some styles just rely on a small frame. In Chang Tai Chi that I teach, we use small, medium, and large frame. And depending on, so we look at it as a progressive approach. A lot of times a younger person will come to Tai Chi, and we want them to use those large frames to strengthen and build up the body. And then they gradually go to smaller and smaller frame to use that for fighting. A lot of times with older people that are students and they come in, they may start with a small or medium size, and then they're trying to progress to a larger to get more and more of the progressive development for strength and mobility, right? So it kind of is an ebb and a flow, right? But at the same time, they would use the small frame for their day-to-day activity. Just like the younger person will use that small frame, again, for day-to-day activity, but also for self-defense. So let's get into this a little bit. We've done some of these pieces in some of my other videos, and we're gonna think like we have a square and an accent within that square. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way first. So I've got 4 of these tiles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to turn to the side and back, right? So I'm here like this, and I'm going to put this heel behind this heel. So I'm here like this. I slide this heel over like that. And now I'm going to turn me to face this way. Okay. Again, I'm here, and I want to face that way, so I turn, I pivot, and I pivot. I'm here to the side now. I want to turn all the way around. So I'm here. I'm going to step that foot across, again, at a diagonal. I'm going to turn, which was my front leg here. I'm going to turn it in first, and then we'll turn this one out. Now I'm facing here. Now, granted, I'm doing this where the feet are toe to toe and heel to heel. We can also do this in some of the other videos I've discussed where we're using an open stance like this. Okay? So we want to be able to do both of them. If you think about your day-to-day activity, I'm here, but I need to sidestep something, right, as an example. So anyway, we'll go back to this exercise. So we're here like this, and again, I'm going to step, pivot, and turn. I'm facing to the side now. Do it again, but I'm going to turn around. I step, I pivot, I turn, and I'm facing here. Yeah, I can just bring the foot back up if I want, and then I can recreate. I'm going to go that way now. So I step, I pivot, I'm facing here. I step back up. I step, I pivot, and I turn. If you look at me, my posture, I'm trying my best to keep me completely upright, right? I don't want to have me forward bend or rear bend like that. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to add to it. So if you think we're using this in a square, I stepped and I turned again, and I stepped and I turned all the way around. Now, I'm going to try to step through the rear leg. I step through. And now, again, my feet are here, but I want to turn that way, and my feet are already kind of lined up with one another. The weight's more on the rear, so I'm going to turn to the left, and then I'll turn to the right. Look, I'm going to step back again, and turn. Right, I'm going to step through. I'll put my foot here, and look, now I'm going to step forward and out. I can turn around. Now I'm going to step through. I'm going to face that way. The weight is more on my left leg right now, so I turn my right in first, I put the weight in the right, and I turn the left out. I'm facing here. You can make this as varied as you would like. The point is that I want to focus on creating more dexterity in my feet, and I want to be able to have this stability in my body, okay? We're going to do that same piece of footwork, but this time we're going to do it on a line. And you can do these at home. It's easy. It's not that complicated. But we're going to do it two ways. I'm either going to step, and I'm going to step the other foot up. Step, step the other foot up. Step. Or I'm going to do it backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you look at it, just like when I was turning around, I maintain this width between my feet. And it should be something equal to your shoulders, okay? And part of the reason I'm doing this is I'm not going to necessarily walk around like this, right? You're not going to walk like that. Maybe if you were going up I don't know, maybe a narrow thing or something, you know, you had to walk like that. But it's not about that. It's about being able to take steps and being able to maintain this position between my feet. Now, sometimes in a situation where something is here and I want to reach for it, I could take that 1, 2 step to get it, right? Right? Or I turn around, there's something here that I need, and I'll take that step. 1, 2, and I'm able to grab it. I didn't need to step through. That's a good, opportunity there to do that. So we're going to take that same piece, but this time I'm going to drive. See, my knee is open, my hip is open, the ankle is open somewhat, and I'm going to push, or you can say drive with this leg to send me forward. I'm not trying to go this far, just a little bit. Drive. And look, I maintain that distance. Drive, drive. I'm going to do the same thing backwards. I'm going to drive with this one, or push, 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 push. Right, forward, push, push, or back. Right, the same thing. Push, push. Now, another piece, and look, I'm trying to make this real short, so it's more about the pieces that you can practice, okay? This next one, I'm going to pick the foot through, right? I'm going to step and bring the foot through. Bring the foot through. I'll bring the foot through. I'm going to go back the other way. I step the foot back. And look, I'm doing my best. I'm not trying to, whenever I step, I don't lean and try to recover like this, but I'm going to lift my crown. I want to try to keep my shoulders down. I don't want to try to move around like that. I want to try to keep everything like, almost like in a box, but at the same time, relax. See? The more we stiffen up, the more unstable we become. Switch, switch, I switch. I switch, I switch, I switch, I switch. Okay? Now, we're going to do this side to side. I'm going to do it facing this way. I'm here. So that same thing that we did, we either drove or we stepped, right? We do the same thing side to side. And look, I'm not trying to take this big stance. I just want to move a few inches. So I'm going to step first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to go back the other way, and this time I'm going to lead with this leg. 1, 2, 1, 2, I can drive with the leg instead. So if my left is forward, I'm going to drive or push with it to send me to the right. Push. If my left is forward and I want to go to the left, I'm going to use the rear leg, the right. I'm going to push with it. Push. This one. Push. Push. If I switch the feet and I want to go this way, I'm going to use my right leg, right, to go to the left. I push. If I want to go to the right and the right leg's forward, I use the left. Push. 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 You can also find something, I don't recommend something that would roll or something that you could trip over. Something flat, something like this, a piece of fabric or something that if you landed on it, it wouldn't roll your ankle out. We're going to do that kind of the same thing. We're like this, and I'm on one side, and I'm going to step across it. Okay? So I'll go 1, 2. Now, if you're younger and you go, well, this doesn't seem too complicated. Well, it can be, but doubtful for if you're younger. But if you're older and you haven't done any kind of movements with a lot of dexterity, this would be kind of an issue. And you see, like I stepped on that, if it was something round or something, I would roll my ankle and maybe tripped, right? So I stepped, I stepped, I stepped, I stepped. Now I'm going to try to do the same thing, but I'm going to hop over it. So both feet are going to go across at the same time and land. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and from the back, right? Step, 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 step. The problem is that when people do this, a lot of the time, and most of the time I will say, is that when they start to step across, they'll bring the feet together. It's a natural thing that people do. So we want to try to keep this like this. So the more that my feet are equal to my shoulders, the more stability I have. Okay? I step again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I'm going to, in essence, hop across, right? But I'm going to use that leg to push, 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 push. You can also do it this way. I'm here, and I'm going to kind of crisscross me. So I step across, and I'm going to turn me. See? Now one's on one side and one's on the other. And I can just repeat, right? I can bring this foot back over, and look, I'm going to step with the back one across. I step, and I pivot, and I turn. See? Now, I'll bring the other foot back across, and I do it again. I step, pivot, and turn. Be careful with this if you haven't done any stuff like this in a while, or mobility stuff. I step to the back, I pivot, and I turn. Back here, and I got my feet a little too close together. I should be more like that, right? So there we go again. I'm here, and I step, and I turn. I'm trying to maintain that width, right? Do it again, but this time I'm going to step with the back one, step, and turn. Okay? It's the same as doing the box in essence, but you have something now to kind of gauge how good you're doing it or not. Which, again, something like an old tie, right? Or, I don't know, a strip of fabric, something that you can live, or if you've got some painter's tape, you can put a strip on the ground and work on it. If you can take those pieces and tie them together, moving forward, moving back, moving to the sides, turning around, stepping, it will help you so much to have better mobility when you're out and about doing your activities. It's also about having this awareness, right? We did this in a previous video, and I'm just going to review it just a little bit. We looked at turning out, right? So I'm here, and I'm going to put the weight in one leg or the other and pivot me out. So I'm going to start like this, just turning the one leg out. And again, real brief, the weight's here, I turn this leg out, I turn it back. I need to see if I have that hip mobility in this leg. If I don't, then I'm going to gradually work on it and improve it. I put the weight here, I turn this one out, I turn it back. I put the weight here, I turn it back, I turn it back. Put the weight here, I turn it out, I turn it back. And please, I'm not expecting you to do this at the rate I'm doing it. I'm just trying to speed it up a little bit, so you can always go back and review these sections and practice the pieces like that. So now we're going to put the 2 feet together. So I've got one, we're both here, I'm going to turn one in and one out. Or one in and one out, like that. One side to side, to the front or to the side. Okay? So I'm going to turn this foot in first. So the weight's here, I turn, and I turn this one out. And look, I'm sitting here, and I drive the weight. And look, you don't have to be in this position, but just don't elongate the rear leg as much. I'm not locked out in this position, okay? But I'm not really fully bent either. See here? So you can do it both ways. I really recommend doing it this way also because I have this straight line with my torso and my head and my leg. And it strengthens the abdominals and the lumbar and the psoas muscles, and the obliques, all of that stuff. As well as the driving helps to strengthen the buttocks and then the leg muscles. So bend, I turn in, I turn out, and then I drive again. If you do it the other way, you want to be upright and erect. I'm here, I turn this leg in, I turn this one out, and I'm going to drive. And look, I stop whenever I kind of reach this position before I would roll forward. And look, everything is behind the foot, so it's not a bad posture position. There's nothing, I'm not rounding or pinching my lumbar at all. I turn the other way, I turn, but I still want to get that drive, right? Again, preferably here for strength. You're not going to do that walking around though. You're going to be like that, you know, you're going to be more upright. So why is this important? Well, it's part of your Tai Chi, or it's part of our, like, remember I have two Tai Chi programs. Master Chang's Chang Taijiquan, and then we also have his material, but in a progressive approach for Tai Chi for functional fitness, right? And I really truly believe that's what the man was intending by telling different people, you know, there's not a set speed, there's not a set size. What he was trying to get at is we need to develop and utilize the material to the best of our advantage for our health or for self-defense. So why do I need this? If I wanted something here, I don't want to do this kind of stuff. It's too easy to become unstable. It's irrelevant if it makes me fall. I become unstable. I want to always walk around like I'm, in essence, almost as if I'm floating upright, right? Like a bobber in the, you know, you go fishing and the little red and white bobbers, and it starts to float at first all over the place, and then it stabilizes itself. And we want to be like that. We want to be stabilized. We don't want to lean back or forward or to the side. It's going to happen, but we don't want to use static balance to try to resist those things. We want to use dynamic balance to get back to that position. Any stiffness or tension that we put in the joints or potentially in our hip is going to make us become unstable or destabilize us in general and potentially even cause falls. So we want to turn to what we're doing. I can just turn to one foot. This is acceptable. But look, if I turn both of them, then I'm really in the position to be able to do something, and I've got my full stability working in this position to grab this thing. And it doesn't have to be anything special. It could be something on your kitchen table, your cell phone, and you reach over too far and you become unstable, right? It's easy enough just to turn and reach and grab something without, again, making it unstable or destabilizing. So I'm trying not to go all over the place with this, and I'm trying to keep it as simple and quick as I can. Let's look at another thing. So this is so all of that, there's more to it, and there's other videos that I have. I'm just trying to do like a generalized thing about this smaller footwork, right? This is the key. And I'll put one more thing before I go to this other part. So I used to tell people all the time, because I see this, whether they're in their 20s or 30s or 70s, it's irrelevant. A lot of times when people turn to do something, they want to turn here, they'll pull the feet together. And I would tell people, you know, don't move your feet together. Well, it's a natural movement. The problem was how do I address this to keep it from becoming an unstable situation, right? The person's here and they do this and they straighten out the legs, or they actually even a lot of times they will lean. Well, we don't want that, and it's okay to pull the leg to the other leg if it's a brief situation, but we don't want that all the time. Meaning, if all the time you're walking and your feet are close together, or when you turn, your feet are almost binding up one another, or I'm here and I go to turn around and my feet are almost touching, or I turn and I pull the foot and I lock me. But I don't want that, and you don't want that either. So we want to be, again, conscious of the width of our shoulders and our feet. That's key. If we do need to bring the foot to us, in Tai Chi, we use a posture, and it's called cat stance, right? Just like you have a closed stance, right? You have forward marching stance, or 7 stars. It's just another stance. But it's what we need to try to practice for when we do pull the foot to us, right? Just like in White Crane spreads its wings, I pull up in a cat stance. You see, I'm using a much larger stance, right? But in reality, I'm at a shoulder width. This leg is bent, so I'm upright and I'm stable. See, I'm like a spring or a shock absorber. Well, we're going to kind of use that same thing, but if we're already using a narrow stance, we just want to be able to turn. But when we do, try to get conscious about bending the knee and opening the hip. See, I'm more stable in this position, right? So I'm here and I did this thing and I pulled me up. And I look, it's easy for me to move to do the next move. But if I turn and straighten me out like that, I make me like I'm on one leg or a pole or something, right? And it makes me unstable. We don't want that. You don't want that if you're older and you're using this for functional fitness. And you definitely don't want that if you're younger and you're really conscious about wanting to utilize self-defense skills, right? You wouldn't want to do that. You would want to be here so you can move yourself out freely. So let's go ahead and go to this other piece. So this piece is really, it's not about it being a small frame or a large frame, okay? But it's about trying to create instability. So we're going to raise the leg, and as we raise the leg, we're going to drop it, and we're going to try to take 2 fast steps forward. So like this, and look, I'm going to go heel toe, 1, 2. Now if you remember, you're like, well, what is that guy doing? Why is he doing that? Well, again, I'm trying to recreate a situation where there's instability, and can I use dynamic balance to support me? I'm a firm believer, and it's just like with the martial art part. If we don't practice the movements that we would use in a self-defense situation, then you're probably not going to be successful. The same thing as it relates to mobility. I need to be able to try to recreate or create situations to create instability so that I can work on those things to improve my stability and at the same time my dynamic balance. So we're going to go forward, back, side to side, and turn around with this piece. So again, leg comes up, I drop in 1, 2, 3. Well, some people really get out of whack with this. And it's like almost like a litmus test, right? So let's do it again, but this time we're going to do it backwards. So I'll raise it, but this time I'm going to go toe heel instead of heel toe. So I come up, I drop it, toe heel. I go forward and someone needs the other leg, I raise it, I drop it, 1, 2, 3. I'm doing this bed backwards now, right? 1, 2, 3. Side to side, but I'm going to do it this way so it's easier to see. So I raise the leg up, and look, your legs may cross to the front, or they may cross to the behind, or they may even move like this. And you should potentially practice all of it. So I raise it up, I drop it, 1, 2, 3. Right? I'm going to go the other way now. I'll bring it up, I drop it, 1, 2, 3. Again, I bring it up, and I drop it, 1, 2, 3. I'll bring the leg up, 1, 2, 3. Then we have turning around. So I'm going to pick the leg up, but look, a lot of times when people go to fall down, they've turned, right? Or they cross the foot, right? Or they overstep, So if you think like that, that's some of the content that we're trying to work on here. So again, I bring the knee up, and it's almost like I'm going to try to create as much speed as I can, within reason. And I'm going to feel like something is pushing against my knee as I turn. So I push it